Hi, everybody. Welcome to our seminar with Leverage Edu. Before I begin, I would like to request each and every one to please keep your mics on mute to avoid any kind of background noise or disturbance so that it's a fruitful session for every one of us. And if you have any questions in the middle, we'll be giving you some time to ask them. So I request you to please wait a little bit and we'll address all your queries. All right. Okay, great. Welcome everybody to our webinar. We'll be helping you through the whole German process today. I have two people on the panel currently. I have Lakshit, who's been my student and has secured an admit through FSU Jena. And I have Mehek, who is our senior counselor, right, who's had amazing admits to Germany. Over to you, Lakshit. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Lakshit, and I have currently applied for my second master's in molecular life sciences, and I got through to Friedrich Schiller University in Jena. And yeah, I mean, and I'm here to talk about it. Leverage EDU has helped me a lot, right from everything from helping me with the CV and everything.
Thank you, Lakshit, and thank you, Parth, for that introduction. And thank you to all of you guys for joining us today for this webinar. Parth, I think it's rightly said that today Germany has definitely become one of the most preferred destinations for higher education. And here in getting a lot of queries on Germany.
One request to everybody who is not speaking in currently, if you could just mute yourselves, and when your turn comes to speak, we can change that.
Jeanette Khan, Jeanette, can you mute yourself, please? Thank you. All right. Someone's talking. Germany definitely has become one of the most preferred destinations for higher education, and we at Leverage here get a lot of queries on German applications and when the answer. I think there's a lot of disturbance.
Hi, everybody. A small request. Could you please mute your mics so that while we're talking, there's no background noise, just to make your experience a little better. Thank you so much.
I think everyone's muted now. Thank you so much for muting your mics. So yes, so we get a lot of queries on German applications. So we thought we'll just conduct a webinar now today on Germany. Let me run you through the contents of the webinar. We'll be telling you about the different kinds of universities that we have in Germany. We'll be running you through the prerequisites of these universities, and Parth will be taking up the application process also with you. And we have Lakshit here today, who's got a great German admit. So Lakshit, thank you so much for joining in and for taking out the time to share your experience with everyone. Now coming to, straight off coming to German universities. Yes, Germany is a hub for a lot of engineering and management courses. You have a lot of science and technology related courses. It's very popular for its masters in psychology. And Germany has a lot of research-based programs also, which are very, very popular. Coming to the universities, now like any other country, Germany has a set of publicly funded universities and it has a set of private universities. The most popular ones, public universities, the reason why every student wants to go to Germany is because of the tuition-free education. Yes, public universities have a few engineering courses and humanities related courses and social sciences related courses, which are definitely free of cost, where they waive off the tuition fee. But you have to keep in mind that even if the tuition fee is waived off, the student has to pay a certain amount of semester fee or a semester fee per semester or a yearly fee. The semester fee can range between anywhere between 200 euros to about 500 euros. So yes, the major chunk of tuition fee is waived off, but the semester fee is something that the student still has to pay. Now, since everybody wants to apply to public universities because they're free, that makes them even more competitive. whether it be any university in Germany, all universities in Germany are really hell bent towards academic. So you have to be like you have to be really academically inclined. You have to have a good academic record to get through these universities. Normally they have a percentage cap also, like when you go through the websites of these public universities, they have a percentage cap of like 70 to 75%. And if you do not meet that percentage cap, your chances of getting through them are really, really slim. So Lakshit, you wanted to apply to a lot of public universities, right? And you even did, and you got an admit for one also. So Lakshit, if you could give us some insight about, why exactly, first of all, did you choose Germany for your master's program? And your motivation and your driving factor behind applying to the universities that you applied for.
The main reason, honestly, about going for public universities in Germany is because of zero tuition fees. That is the biggest reason. Other than that, all the public universities in Germany are well known for their quality education. Even the Germany is one of the highest ranking universities when it comes for research, scientific research. And since I am from the field of academia, I know for a fact that uh, highest ranking research institutes, most of them are in Germany. So I've always wanted to work at, since I want to pursue my PhD and further research in the field of cancer research. So I know for a fact that I want to work at the DKFZ in Heidelberg, which is their National Institute for Cancer Research. So these are a few reasons why I wanted to apply for Germany.
All right, great. Parth, can you throw some light on the private universities now? Parth, you're on mute.
Sorry. So unlike the myth here, most people assume that all the universities in Germany are free of cost or do not have a tuition fee. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but private universities are not like that. All the private universities have equally competitive tuition fees, like any other university across Europe or any other geography for that matter. Additionally, like Mehek said, even though these are private universities, for them, academics hold a very high regard. So a very well-known profile for any student will require an average marks of, say, a 70 to a 75% in your undergrad if you're looking for a master's, or maybe higher if you're looking for an undergraduate degree. So additionally, for private universities, yes, you do have a lot of, options where you can, you get a lot of amenities that they might have, but they are equally competitive like the German universities that are public. Rather, private universities sometimes fall a little short than the government universities also. All right. So yeah, I think that's about it for the private universities that I can throw some light on. Mehek, how about you take all the attendees here with the eligibility criterias that, basically follow in the German capitals?
Yeah, thank you, Parth. Thank you. Yes, Parth, like you rightly said, private universities are definitely not free. And another pointer that I would like to highlight here is, because we've got a lot of queries from MBA aspirants, all management courses in Germany, whether it be a private university or a public university, management courses are not at all free in Germany. You have to pay for any management course that you register for. It ranges between 30,000 euros to about 60,000 euros, depending on the university that you opt for. Right now, coming to their academic requirements, we've already covered that.
I would request everybody, I'm sorry to cut you in the middle, Mehek, please, please mute your mics. Thank you. Yes, sorry.
So yes, coming to the academic requirement, the prerequisites, we've already covered that definitely there's a percentage cap on these universities that ranges between 70, 75 to 80 also at times for these public universities and private both. Other than that, see, yes, you have to take an IELTS exam. By IELTS, I'm referring to academic IELTS. Most of the universities accept a band of 6.5. For management schools, you need to have a band of at least 7. German universities also require you to give a few standardized tests. So, say if you're picking any management course, especially MBA, GMAT is definitely a mandate. Next, when you apply for engineering courses, GRE is a mandate for a few universities, and for some, it's optional. Germany is one country that also accepts GATE scores. And another thing I would recommend to people here, and that's what we recommend to our students also, that if you take your GRE and if you get a good band, even if it's not a mandate with the university, you must definitely report your score, because that does give your profile that edge and that push. And yes, some of the top universities in Germany also have a requirement for A2 or B1 level German proficiency. That's another point that I'd like to highlight here. See, Germany, as we know, is not an English speaking country. For some universities, it's definitely a mandate to present a German certificate. But for even for those where it's not a mandate, I would advise you that when you're going to a country that's not English speaking and you plan to stay back there for full-time jobs, it's always advisable that you learn the language. Right. And another thing that German universities, they accept both your 15-year of education and your 16-year of education. And like any other application process, German universities also require your LORs, that is your letter of recommendation. Then they require SOP. Now in Germany, popularly SOPs are known as motivation letter. Most of the universities mention SOPs. They want a motivation letter with every application. By that, you just have to specify your long-term and your short-term goals, and basically what's your driving factor for applying for a particular course. So yes, that's about it for the requirements. Your IELTS score, your standardized test, your percentage criteria, and also one point that I missed out here is your credits. German universities do require a credit range of about 180 credits to 240 credits. For these, you have to submit your transcripts, and based on your transcripts and the scoring method, they basically convert it into their grading system. So you need to present your transcripts, and yes, I think when you meet all these criteria and the prerequisites, you can apply to most of the German universities. And now, Lakshit, coming to you, since you spent a lot of time building your profile for German applications, why don't you throw some light about about your academic record and your achievements till date?
Uh, I have done bachelor's in zoology honors from the University of Delhi, where I scored 70% marks. And then I did my first master's in biotechnology, where I scored 78% marks. And in the last semester, at a lot of places, we are required to do a master's dissertation. And I did that in cancer research from an institute, ICMR Institute in Noida. And other than that, I did a lot of things to build up my CV. For example, I have 2 or 3 publications on my CV. Although they are not research publications, they are review publications, but still they do have some impact. And I did some online courses which I included on my CV. I took the GRE, in fact, even though it was not a mandate, but I took the test anyway, and I scored 300 on GRE, on general GRE. And yeah, and I did other sorts of co-curricular activities like short-term courses and internships, and these are the kind of things which can help you get through to German universities.
Thank you, Lakshit. Parth, now that we've covered up, Parth, you're on mute. So yes, since we've covered up, the kinds of universities that we have in Germany and the prerequisites, I think we should educate them all about like the most tricky process, the application process for German universities. So wide hands,
Yes.
discuss the details.
The German application process might seem a little too tricky for most people because you have to share your physical documents, you have to go through a lot of portals, and additionally you have a lot of other things that you need to do. But let me break it down to you in this manner. There are 3 different processes that can happen when you're applying to German universities. Either you're applying through UniAssist only, or you're applying through only the college portal, or the third kind where you have to apply through both the college portal as well as UniAssist. Let me take these processes one by one. If I'm talking about UniAssist is a portal that is a standardized portal from the government of Germany, which will vet all your documents and your application before it goes to the university, right? So when you're applying, the first step of the process will be to go ahead on UniAssist, that is uniassist.eu, and register yourself as a student there, where you will then have a list of universities that are available only on UniAssist, and you're supposed to select the universities that you would want to apply for. Once the selection is done, you're supposed to then move ahead and upload all your documents. Now, before you upload your documents, the documents need to be notarized and attested by a grade A gazetted officer, which is essentially a notary. And all your documents, be it your transcripts of, throughout, whichever transcripts you might have, undergraduate degree, class 10th, class 12th, if you have a master's degree already, then those. All of these need to be notarized. Additionally, you will also require a passport, which you need to upload, and that also has to be a notarized copy. When I talk about notarized copies, the only thing that I would stress here is that the copies need to be notarized. The original document need not be notarized, all right? And the scanned copies need to be uploaded on the portal. Along with this, you will also have to upload your CV as well as your resume, or your CV and your SOP, my bad. You will have to upload your motivation letter, which will be a generic one initially. Along with it, your university specific SOP that can be uploaded later on, right? Moving forward, once you have uploaded all your documents, you go ahead and you have to make a payment of 75 euros for the first application. Once you do make that payment, you will get a PDF, which essentially you need to take a printout of and sign. So a self-attestation of that PDF is required. Additionally, once you are done with this, you need to send all these documents via post. I'm sorry. I would request everybody to please mute yourselves.
Guys, if you can mute yourselves, and we'll give you the time to talk.
Yeah.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So essentially, like I said, once that is done, you will have to take the printout of your application, the UniAssist application, and then go ahead, attach all the photocopies that are notarized and send it physically to UniAssist office. The address for the UniAssist office is available on each and every university website, as well as the UniAssist portal altogether. The second type of admission process is the direct application via the college. In this, you are supposed to send all your documents, upload all your documents only through the college portal. The college portal will have an apply now button on their website, where you go, you click, and you open a portal which has the application form. You need to fill in all your basic details and submit the notarized documents here as well. And then your application will be processed accordingly. Here you might be asked to submit certain essays along with the SOP that might be based on your subject of interest. And these will be very course specific. You will have to additionally create this as a document. The third process, on the other hand, is when you have to apply through both UniAssist as well as the college portal. Now, the only tricky part here is, do we apply to UniAssist first, or do we go ahead and apply to the college portal? Answer is very simple. First, you have to go ahead and apply to UniAssist, post which you will go and apply to the college portal. Once we are done with the UniAssist application, you will receive an email from the UniAssist people stating your VPD number. Now, VPD number is a preliminary verification ID that will be required by all the universities and all your applications that are there in any and every university that you apply to. All right, unless the university has a specific only university application. I hope this has cleared the process of the applications. Moving forward, I think, Mehak, if you have anything else to add here.
Yes, Parth, I think one thing that you covered that was that yes, we must notarize all our documents. And another thing that I would state here is that when you're sending your mark sheets to these universities, mostly we send consolidated mark sheets, right? But for Germany,
Yes.
I would advise you that if you have your semester-wise mark sheets, it's always good to upload your semester-wise mark sheets. Along with this, the syllabus of your school, because that will help them in converting your grades to their credit system. So I would advise that. And also for Germany, they at times require a no-back certificate. So if you present all your semester-wise sheets, they will get to know about, if you have any backs or any KTs in any subject. So they need to verify that. For that, it's always recommended to definitely upload your semester-wise mark sheets.
Yes.
Right. And Lakshit, since you've applied to a lot of German universities, you've sent direct applications and you've also sent out applications through UniAssist. So can you run us through your process? Any challenges, particularly Lakshit?
The application process, like Parth explained, is a bit elaborate as compared to other countries like the UK. So you need to apply separately on the UniAssist and then on the university website and this and that. So, but for FSU Jena, the university that I got admitted from, that is a fairly simple application process because it is not the university which is associated with the UniAssist. So all I had to do was just make an account on their university admission application portal and fill in the details and upload the scanned documents, and that's it. Sometimes, like, I mean, most of the times they do require you to send documents by courier, but this year I did not have to do that because they all knew, because of the ongoing COVID situation, the no cargo was going in and out of the country, so they managed with that. And so yeah, I mean, that was the whole process. And that's it. I mean, the Parth Leverage EDU team and Parth was here to help me at every step. So there were no major challenges as such because I was sort of familiar with the whole process because I applied on my own last year as well. So there were no major challenges, but yeah, I mean, people helped me a lot. So there were no major challenges.
Okay, great.
Great.
Lakshit, thank you for that. And also, I think we missed out on one point that Germany is one country that does not encourage gaps. So if you have a gap year, suppose you've taken a gap after your 12th standard, or if you've taken a gap after your graduation and you've not worked, so you need to justify that gap, right? So if it's because of a medical reason, you need to present all the documentation for it. You have to basically justify that 1 year where you didn't work and you didn't study. That's very important for German universities. Another thing I think we can talk about is the intakes in Germany. The most popular one is the winter intake. Most of the students apply in winter intake, which starts in October. And the applications for winter intake normally close around June or mid of July. Like this time, the applications for most of the universities for 2020 will close by July 15th. Some of the universities have extended it now because of obviously the pandemic and because students were not able to register before. So they have opened their portals still a little late this time. Another intake for Germany is the summer intake, which starts in March. Applications for that close around November, December, but not every university has a summer intake. So when you're doing your university shortlisting, these are some of the things that you need to keep in mind, that not every university will have a summer intake, right? And I would
Yeah.
also advise you to apply in the winter intake because you have more number of seats in the winter intake. um, March, since not many universities will open up for that intake, it's going to be a little challenging also, and the number of seats would also be not as much as compared to the winter intake semester, right?
Yeah.
So Path, I think there are a lot of questions pouring in. We can start taking up the questions one by one.
Yes, yes. I think we should do that.
Sure. So
All right.
I think we can take it up one by one. I'll read the first one. The
Sure.
first is, what are the basic criteria that a student needs to fulfill to be eligible for a full-time MBA in a top German university? So I think we have covered most of the pointers here in the prerequisites. Since you're asking for specifically MBA, I would like to recommend that, for MBA, you need to have at least a minimum of 2 to 3 years of work experience. When you're building your profile for MBA, yes, you need to first of all meet the percentage criteria, the credits, IELTS score. But with German especially for MBA or business schools, you need to, highlight your leadership skills in your profile. Another thing I would recommend is that, you talk about your job responsibilities, highlight your achievements till date. But most importantly for MBA, you need to ace your GMAT exams. GMAT is a mandate, like I mentioned before, for MBA schools. So even if you meet the prerequisites, you need to take the standardized test that they have asked for, which is going to be GMAT, and you need to ace it. If you want to get through good colleges, I would recommend, anywhere above 650 plus to 700 plus. 720 is what I would recommend. 720 score would get you through any college, but a 650 above a score would be a good score. So yes, that's about it. Other than these you need to meet the basic credit score requirement, IELTS requirement, which is for MBA especially. We have an IELTS band of 7, not 6.5. For most of the MBA schools, we do require an IELTS band of 7.
All right. Great. I think I'll take the next one. It says, what should be the bachelor degree percentage to get an admit? So like we said before that academics are held at a very high regard in all the universities. So, excuse me, a percentage that I would personally suggest to anybody will be a 70% or an above in your undergraduate degree. Subsequently, with academic research or maybe other academic accolades that you might have. So that would essentially be the degree percentage that I would recommend. And if you are looking at a CGPA, then I would say a minimum of 8.2 to 8.5 would somewhere be your perfect landing point.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. And the third question is, they've asked about tests. I think we've already got that covered. Lakshit, you've also taken your GRE test. Even if it was not a mandate, you reported your GRE test. So if you could throw some light on that, how did you go about the prep? How much time did it take for you to prep for the exam? So if you could just share your experience on that with us.
I took the GRE in January this year, and it took me around 2 months to prepare for the test. It isn't that difficult. It's just that me being a biology student have been out of touch with maths for a lot of time now, so it took me some time to get back on track. And yeah, it's not that a difficult exam to ace. So, and being and considering the fact that I am from academia and not from a professional course like MBA, so a score of even 300 was good enough to get me through to university. But if you're looking for other kind of professional programs, then probably you need to score at least 320 out of 340 in general GRE.
Right, right. Parth, can you?
Yes, I'll be taking the next question. The next question is essentially about, yeah. So you're looking, is 3-year undergraduate acceptable in Germany? Yes, a 15-year 15-year education is acceptable in Germany. So if you have 3 years of undergraduate degree, you will be accepted as a student there. Additionally, you have asked about the Masters in Nutrition in Germany. Yes, there are a lot of universities, and some of the very well-known universities like TU Munich are there which offer these courses. So I would personally recommend that if you do require a college list, or how do you want to proceed further with these applications, do hit us up and let us know, and we'll be able to guide you through these.
Right. Parth, the next question is, does language certificate matters in university? And I think we have the same question on Zoom chat that says that, do we face any language issues in German universities?
Yes.
Coming to the first question, does language certificate matters? Yes, wherever it's a mandate and wherever they've asked you for an A2 level or a B1 level, you have to present your language certificate. It helps you with your visa process also. And when it comes to the question that, do we face any language issues? See, you definitely are going to a country which is not an English speaking country, like I mentioned. It's definitely better to know the local language. And again, if you're planning to stay back after your post-grad and you're planning to take up a full-time job, or even for part-time jobs that you need to do with your master's degree, it's always better to know the language. Knowing the local language, yes, it's a mandate. Your courses at times, even when you're doing the shortlisting, you have to keep in mind that some of the courses in Germany are a blend of English and German. So make sure when you're doing your shortlisting also, only opt for courses that conduct the entire training in English. But yes, I would personally advise you to always learn the language in the country that you're going to pursue your master's in.
Yeah. All right. So the next question is essentially about what is the most important thing in a student's profile? I think for Germany particularly, like I've already mentioned, academia holds a very high regard. Having said that, there are other things in your application that need to be enhanced and showcased, right? Depending on your courses. So say your work experience, if you're going for an engineering course or any other master's degree, the work experience in that field holds a very high regard and an importance. Additionally, with your academics, your GRE and GMAT scores, even if the university is not asking for it, right, do add on to your application and strengthen your application far more. All right. One quick pointer here, however, if you think that you have a lower score in your undergraduate degree and can compensate it with work experience, I'm sorry, that's not possible in Germany, because Germany requires academia, like Germany holds academia at a very high regard. So the marks are very important for them. So maybe a variation of 2 to 5% in your marks might be covered up with your work experience, but if it's a major cover up to do, I'm sorry, that will not be possible. All right. I think next question is from Sanika, and if you don't mind, Mehak, I'm going to go ahead and take it. It says, are there good brand management courses in Germany? Some courses for brand management, yes, are available. Then the second question is, can I do an MBA as a fresher in top universities? I'm sorry, but MBA is not possible if you're a fresher anywhere abroad. Having said that, there is a freshers MBA called Masters in Management or MSc in Management, which you can prefer or look at, which of course is an option in Germany as well. Subsequently, the question is slightly long. So it is also asking, is there a scope for fashion industry and brand managers or retail buyers? If you're looking at Germany, maybe that's not the right choice, because Europe is a hub for fashion, but the fashion capital is at the end of it, France. And if you are going for fashion industry, my personal recommendation would be to ideally look at schools either in London, France, or New York, right? Because these are places that are considered to be the hubs of fashion across the globe. Can I do an internship under fashion brands while doing my MBA? Yes, you can. You can search for them. However, with the curriculum that is so rigorous in an MBA, I am not sure if you will have the time to kind of pursue an internship. Additionally, I have another question in the same thing. You are a graduate from electronics and telecommunication courses. Is there a scope for you in these courses? Yes, no matter what the background, you can pursue an MBA or an MIM, even if you're coming from a science background, which will not be an issue. However, for fashion industry, brand management, yes, there are certain criteria, certain universities that might ask you for a particular degree in an undergrad, but the others might not. So you do have some options over there as well.
Right. Thank you, Parth. Coming to the next question, is Germany a good option for MBA compared to other countries, and requirements to study in Germany? When you kind of fixate your mind on a geography, you need to keep a lot of factors in mind. You need to keep the tuition fees in mind, the stay back options in mind, and basically where you see your growth and your career, you should opt for that country when it comes to pursuing a master's degree. Yes, Germany definitely has some of the best options, some of the best world ranked options for MBA. The universities, I think a lot of you have questions here about Mannheim. Mannheim is definitely one of the very good universities for MBA. Then you have Frankfurt School of Management, then there's HHL, then there's WHU. So you can definitely opt for a lot of MBA courses in Germany. And one of you here has a question about the requirements at Mannheim. See the requirements again. When it comes to your GMAT, when you look at the class profile, they do not accept students with a lesser than your 650 band. So I would advise you to get at least 680 to 700 for a school like Mannheim. Again, you need to have an IELTS band of 7. When it comes to your academic grades, a 60 plus is, you see, anytime you have to understand whether you should shortlist that university for yourself or no, you should look at the class profile. If your academics match the class profile and the prerequisites that they mention on the website, and if you've attained the required standardized test score, then you can definitely apply for a university like Mannheim. But otherwise, these are some really top schools in Germany for management. So I would so if you're looking out for a management course in Germany, you can apply to these.
Yeah. All right. So I think the next question is the scope of environmental studies and renewable energy. I feel, yes, you have a very high chance for these courses that are available across the TU9 universities, as well as some of the very well-known, government universities like OVGN and a few more. And the scope for these particular courses is extremely high because across the globe, every company is moving towards renewable energy and is looking for sustainable development. So, and Germany being a hub for technology gives you that advantage to kind of go ahead and, pursue a degree from there, because then you have the best of both worlds. You're working in a hub where, technology is one of the primates, and you're going ahead and pursuing something that is an upcoming field. So definitely environmental studies as well as renewable energy have a very good impact on Germany and have very high chances of you getting through, to some of the best opportunities that you might want.
I think I muted myself. Thank you, Parth. So we have another question. It says, I have KTs in my first year and my second year. It's clear now, if I don't have any KT in the third year, will I be able to get admissions? Lakshit, you had a similar journey where we've discussed that, you know, in the first year you did have a KT in one subject. So if you could, do you want to take up this question, Lakshit?
Yeah, actually, I got a backlog in my first semester of BSc. Well, when I was in DU in physical chemistry, I cleared it out in the next year. The good thing about DU is that they don't really mention it on the transcript. But you're good to go as long as you have backlog in just one or two. If your other profile other than that is exceptional, but if you think that you fall short, academically, then you have to sort of balance it out by doing other co-curricular activities like doing internships, developing your skill set, and getting in case of academia and research, getting a publication would be a very good thing. So if you do have backlogs, then you need to do something to compensate them. Otherwise, it does not reflect good, especially in Germany, because they're really very particular. And if you have backlogs like more than two, then they would probably straight out reject your application.
Right. And see, if you had your backlogs in the first year and second year, and if you've cleared them by now, right, you get a revised mark sheet also for it from the university. You can just get that. And if by the third year, by the time you apply, if you don't have any backlogs, then you definitely, that's not going to hamper your application. But yes, a backlog is going to definitely hamper your academic score. But if you're able to level up your game in the third year and gain a good score, then you're good to go for any German university.
Yeah. All right. So the next one again is, what is the GPA required for admissions in German universities? I think I've already covered this. The GPA requirement will be ranging between an 8.2 to an 8.5 to get into public universities, the good ones at least. You might have some options where you're landing between a 7.9 to an 8.2 as well. Having said that, that might not leave a very high chance of you getting through to German universities. But definitely we can try as well, because the other aspects of the profile then come into play.
All right, coming to the next question, what are the scholarships to target in Germany? A lot of you here on Zoom chat also, you have a similar questions. Yes, that's a very important aspect of any application. Every student wants to apply for scholarships once they get their admit. Now with Germany, you have, these scholarships which are funded by the government. Then you have private scholarships, and you have university specific scholarships. Again, the eligibility criteria, they are very, very competitive, hell-bent on your academics, very academically inclined. Especially when I talk about the funded scholarships by the government, the two most popular ones are the DAAD scholarship and the Erasmus scholarship. Now, since these scholarships are open for both domestic students and international students, it's very, very competitive and difficult to get these scholarships. They don't just cover your tuition fees, but they also cover your living expenses. And if you're planning to go for an exchange program, then an Erasmus scholarship will even cover your expenses for that exchange program. So yes, we do have these funded scholarships. Then there are private scholarship. There's this Hendrik Ball Foundation scholarship that one can apply for if you're looking for a private scholarship. Then there's a CAS KAS scholarship. But again, these scholarships have their limitations, subjective to course, subjective to age. So you have to go through the details of the scholarships to first of all understand whether you're eligible for them or not. And then comes the university specific scholarship. These scholarships definitely are based on your merit. A lot of universities like Hamburg, RWTH, they have their own scholarships. Again, they come with the criteria. If you meet the criteria, you can definitely apply for it. And once you get your admit, one thing you can do is that even write to the university and you can ask them the kind of scholarships that you are eligible for. Most of the times the university will send you back a link that will state the scholarship that you are eligible for, and you can apply. So henceforth you can go ahead with that. Scholarships, normally university takes about 2 to 3 weeks at times, depending, like with this COVID scenario, they've even taken 4 weeks to reply back to the scholarships. But yes, you have to keep that time period in mind. So if you're looking out for scholarships, I would recommend you to apply in the first round, so that you have ample time to wait for your scholarship letter also. And again, there another thing, some at times universities can also ask for an additional essay for a scholarship. So additional essays, just like a normal SOP, they'll ask you a question and you just have to answer it, and basically you have to show your interest and prove to them as to why are you eligible for a particular kind of fee waiver. So yeah, that's about scholarships.
All right. So I think the next question is about masters and PhD entries. So when I talk about masters, the process is fairly simple, the one that we've discussed. However, for a PhD, the process differs slightly, because while you're applying for a PhD, you need to get your research grants and you need to get your research approved and the topics of research that you would want to go for. So first, you're supposed to create your research proposal, of course, keeping in mind your academic regards here and the kind of research work that you've done in the past. You need to keep all of that in mind and then move ahead with your PhD. But definitely, yes, you have a lot of options for PhD as well in Germany, specifically the completely funded programs.
Right. So Parth, another question that we have here is, I want to join MBA from Germany. I have an experience of 7.5 years and I'm not sure it's the right decision for me. I speak German till level B1 level.
B2. B2.
Okay.
Yeah, B2.
So yes, definitely, since you know the language and you have that kind of work experience, it's definitely not why, I don't know why are you indecisive about applying for it, because you definitely qualify for it. But when I say qualify for it, you do meet a certain prerequisite. You meet, but you, again, to get into a good B school, you have to ace your GMAT. If you do that, then I think the profile is a good to go. Again, you've not specified your percentage here, but if the university has a percentage cap, you even have to meet that.
Yes. So just one quick addition here. If whenever you're looking, so even for B schools in this thing, in Germany, the process is similar to what all the other B schools across the globe follow. So your GMAT, of course, like Mehak said, is extremely important. Additionally, your work experience and the way you present your work experience is equally important. So the work experience of 7.5 years, it depends on what kind of roles and responsibilities you've had to actually give you a clear picture in terms of how you should go ahead and, approach your MBA application. All right. I think the next question is, do you work on CV review and portfolio making for candidates opting for these universities? Definitely, Leverage helps you across for everything. It's your one-stop shop for all the necessities that you might have for any application or any country that you're looking for. So yes, we help with the CV review. We also help you with your SOPs and essays and what kind of storylines that you're supposed to take, as well as with the applications.
Right. So the next question is, without work experience, candidate options for after BCom from Delhi University to Germany for master's programs. So yes, if you don't have enough work experience, you can apply for a certain programs. If you're looking out for management, I would recommend MIM. I would recommend Masters in Global International Business or Global Affairs, and I would also recommend MSc in Marketing. Yeah, so I was saying that I would recommend 3 courses there if you're a fresher. One is MIM Marketing, and the other would be MSc Management. I would recommend a marketing course, and I would recommend Masters in International Business or Global Affairs.
All right, great. Coming down to the last question that I have in front of me right now, what are my chances of securing a place in top university, say Mannheim, if I take a 1-year drop, work for a year during that period, and then apply after my graduation for a master's in marketing? a master's in marketing, yes, you do have high chances, provided your work experience is related to marketing. Additionally, it also depends on what your marks are, so that we also have an understanding in terms of what is your academic background. Because like I said in the past, academics is a very important aspect for all the German universities that we apply to. Mannheim particularly has a certain set standard that we need to meet up with. So yes, I think that's my take on this. Mehak, would you like to add something in this?
I think we have a lot of questions now coming up on computer sciences. There are some students here who are looking for an undergrad course in computer science, which is taught in English. Yes, when you're looking for an undergrad course, you must check the prerequisite, whether the course, the mode of in which the university is conducting the program. English taught courses for computer science are a couple. Some of them, some of the TUs have an undergrad in computer science. Jacob Bremens has an undergrad course, which is very popular for computer science. And another is that KIT University is also another one that I would recommend for computer science. See, it's when you want to find out whether a course is taught in English or not, you can just go through the university website. It's always mentioned and highlighted on the website, the language in which they're going to be conducting the course. Another question here we have is about Masters of Architecture.
Yes. Do you mind if I take it, because I had this thing? So yeah, so if you're looking for a master's in architecture with an SGPA 7, I would rather require your CGPA, which is a cumulative of all the years that you've had, number one. But you do have some very exciting options that are there. So for example, RWTH, Aachen, TU Berlin, most of the TUs actually you have, right? And a few of the other government universities that I can look at is Hanover and Kassel, University of Hanover and University of Kassel, that you can apply to if you have a minimum 7 here, because for them the requirements are a little relaxed. I think there is another question related to MBA and the post-COVID demand for MBAs. I think, yes, the COVID pandemic has had its effects on a lot of people and a lot of industries. Having said that, if you are entering into the consultation domain post your MBA, you do have a very bright future that is coming post the COVID, because the economy will start to boom, which basically means that you do get a lot of options and the work that you would like to do.
Right. And another thing, I think with the question Masters in Architecture, I just looked up another university that you can opt for is Stuttgart also. And coming to the MBA post, if you're planning to apply by the year 2021, you'll be graduating by 2022, right? So by then the economy definitely is going to bounce back. I know that COVID is, the impact of COVID is a big worry amongst all students today, whoever is looking out to apply. But don't worry, the situation and, with international market and international economy also, by the time you graduate, everything's definitely going to get back to normal. So yes, you should look up for MBA options in Germany for that. Okay. What is the... Okay.
Yeah, I think there's another question related to, other than scholarships, which is the next best alternative for funding? And is education loan in India better or in Germany? So there are two things that I can say here. Number one, scholarships definitely is not a sure shot option that one must rely on, because the uncertainty of scholarships is extremely high. Additionally, if you're looking at alternative funding, yes, the education loans that are available in India or in Germany are one of the best options that I can personally suggest, because there is a substantial amount that you will be required to invest in your masters. So I think that's one way that you can look at. Other than that, you know, as much money as you can shed from your personal savings, that could be another funding option that you might have. But yeah, I think that's about it.
Right. And with Germany, see, when you go there also, whether you choose any international university, when you go there, you'll also be given a certain amount of, you know, say 20 hours a week to work, about 180 full days to work, or about 240 half days to work. So when you go there also, once you funded your education, you can definitely, you know, work there and earn that extra living expenses that you want to. Now we have a question here. A lot of questions about bachelor's eligibility criteria for an Indian student for bachelor's in bachelor's degree. So yes, Germany requires a 13-year of bachelor degree. There are some private universities that will accept your 12-year degree, but mostly for German
Sure.
universities require 13 years. You know, if you have a 12-year degree, I would recommend you to do a 1-year additional diploma in the, you know, field that you're interested in, or you can maybe, you know, pursue a 1-year language program also. It's up to you. Another thing, the ACTs and the ACTs are not a mandate in Germany, but yes, if you have got a score, you must report it, and a good one at that, then you definitely must report it. IELTS and TOEFL would definitely be a requirement for German universities.
I think that's about it. Do we have any other questions? Nope. None that I can see. Are there any other questions that one might have here? Oh, we have a question. What are the best universities for MSc in life sciences? Also looking for courses in immunology and virology. Due to Corona, how the universities are asking for documents, as we can't send it by post for now. So I think, Lakshit, do we have you here? If you can take this question, because this is a domain that you are already applying for.
I can't say particularly about immunology and virology.
Yeah, I think,
but
why don't you take up life sciences though?
yeah, there are a lot of n number of universities in Germany which are well known for their life sciences programs. For example, the University of Kiel is a very good one. They have this particular program called medical life sciences, which is a great option. Then the university, my own university, University of Jena, it has molecular life sciences. There is University of Göttingen. Göttingen University is paired up with Max Planck Institute of Research. So if you're into research, then you have amazing opportunities there. Then you have a few of the TUs like TU Dresden and Brandenburg, and you have Goethe Institute in Frankfurt, and you have University of Bonn, you have University of Cologne, you have University of Würzburg. So all of them have life sciences and biological sciences master's programs, and you would have to go through the particulars of the program to particularly focus on immunology and virology, but there you will find a lot of options, I'm sure.
All right. As for the COVID pandemic, yes, the services have already started, and the courier services are going through now. So if you are looking to apply, that's not a concern. You can consult your nearest DHL or any other courier service, and they can guide you through the process.
All right, so we have another question about public university for computer sciences. See, specifically for English taught, you need to check the university database. Otherwise, Saarland or Tuvan are some of the universities that do have undergrad engineering courses. But as per say, whether they're in English or in German, we'll have to check the university website for that, for those details. And another Bremen also has, I guess.
Anybody else, if you have any questions that you would want to ask us?
So there's another question path which we missed out, which is the best college or university for MBA other than Mannheim. I think I've taken up this question before.
Yes.
WHU, it's Frankfurt School of Management. Then you can apply to HHL. There are a lot of other MBA schools. You can just go online and check the ranking for them, but these are some of the top ones.
Yeah. Um, okay, so I think it's already 7,
7, yes.
and we've exceeded our time. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. I especially want to thank Mehak and Lakshit to take out this much time and be a part of this webinar and help us through for all the students. Additionally, I want to thank each and everyone who's attended this webinar. We hope that you had a clarity of thought in terms of all the German applications that you had. If you do have any further questions or queries or doubts, please feel free to reach us out on our website and we'll be there to help you through.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining in. And we hope we've answered most of your queries. Like Parth said, you can definitely post your queries here and someone from our team will get back to you on that. And we also have upcoming webinars coming in. So if you have, and definitely discussions on German universities. So we request you all to join that. And thank you, Parth, and special thanks to Lakshit. Lakshit, thank you so much for coming out and sharing your experience with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, and thank you guys for joining in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Parth.